Hey gamers, it's Wintermute here from Grind This Game, back with Factorio, and I started a new base here, and I'm using a custom map that I made, and it's kind of ridiculous. It has a ridiculous number of resources. We got 65 million iron here, 16 million copper. I generated a map and then I just basically added a few extra circles of resources in a kind of a tight loop here, plus some crazy oil over here, and it's pretty close to the water as well. There's water here we could use for power. I didn't want to go this overboard with the resources, but might as well. This will allow us to build a Megabase for sure, and we won't have to run around as much to kind of collect things. So I guess we should probably get started. Guess I'm going to start down here. Gotta make a pick. Stone going. Put down a furnace and mining drill. But we need some coal, so we'll head over this way. These are actually, even though I put them close together, they're still spread out because this is a large map. Probably should have put our first miner down here, actually. So we're just ramping up. We put down a burner miner, feeding into a stone furnace here. Just the regular basic early start. And we'll go put another burner miner down here by our coal. And we'll get these to face each other so that they feed each other. So they should just go forever there, feeding each other. Should probably get some copper going too. And we're going to get some stone automated too. Still a bit of running around, but not too bad. So I'll just ramp up all of this production and come back after I've done that. So I've kind of just duplicated a lot of what I had. So now we got 8 coal miners and they're feeding each other. As you can see, they each face the next one in kind of a circle. So they'll mine, they'll put their output in the next one, so they're kind of auto-fueling themselves. Then if you hold down control, left control, and kind of right-click over these guys, you'll collect all the coal out of them without having to go in and take it out manually. So once these fill up to 50 coal, they'll kind of stop. So you got to come back periodically. So there's a lot of running around in the kind of very early game as you get set up. But there's less running around once you get things kind of automated. So get some copper out of those. Should probably fill these with some coal. You can also put the coal in without opening up the furnaces. So these need a lot of coal. So if you select coal off your hotbar, hold down control and right click along here, you'll put kind of half of the coal you have in all of them. So I've just put all my coal in here basically. So now we got a decent amount of iron plate, copper plate. Those are all fed with coal. Go check how our stone's doing. Probably out of coal, yeah. Probably should have saved a bit, but that's okay. So the next order of business is going to be steam power. And I'll probably use this water up here in the top left. This one's a bit closer. Maybe I'll go down here. So actually for that we're going to need an offshore pump that'll get the water out. And we're going to need a few boilers. And for every boiler we're going to need 2 steam engines. So we'll build 4 steam engines. We're also going to need some power poles, so I'll kind of queue some of those up. So we'll put our offshore pump right here. And I guess we'll build our steam engines this way. Sorry, our boilers this way and our steam engines this way. Probably actually rotate this pump like this so we don't have to move anything. So yeah, boilers. Put 2 down. Should have brought some coal with us. And then 2 steam engines for each boiler. Can make some pipe too. And you can put 1 pipe in between each 2 steam engines, and that allows you to have room to put power poles in here. So I'll build a couple more boilers and 4 more steam engines. And we'll bring the power cables, power electric poles. Place 1 here, I guess. And here, and then we'll just kind of bring them up to the base. Now if you get the, if you kind of get them max distance apart and click and hold, you can just drag them all the way up. And it'll figure out the kind of optimal distance. So now we can start to make electric mining drills. Now that we got some power up here, but we got to take some coal down to our boilers. And bring some coal back to these, keep them running. So we'll fill these boilers up. And these are blinking just because there's nothing connected to them yet. So once we connect them to an electric mining drill, this should fix itself. And probably the first thing we want to do is automate the mining of coal, so we can automatically bring it down to that pump. Feed those boilers automatically. But we're going to need to bring the power over here. And we're going to need a lot of transport belts to get that coal down. Yep, it's a long way to go. So I'll do that off camera and we'll be back once this is all hooked up. Now I'm going to use burner inserters here instead of electric inserters. And the reason is that if the power ever goes out and we're using electric inserters, our power will stay off. But if they're being fed coal and there's burner inserters, they can kind of feed themselves and stay up. So it's a little bit more resilient. So now we got the coal down here and the burner inserter set up. So it'll just kind of feed itself as it needs power. We only have one boiler actually needed at the moment. So if you click on the power pole, you can see the power output. So there's only one electric miner drill actually using power right now. We actually needed to hook up the power poles here to connect these all up. Now we can actually blueprint this whole subunit. And kind of stamp it out here. Now we won't actually expand it yet, but it'll be ready to go when we want to use it. And if something's in the way, you can shift click and it'll kind of mark the things that need to be destroyed, like these trees, but we'll just clear those out right now. It'll also destroy the blueprint. So we'll just stamp it again later. Oh, we didn't get the inserters in the blueprint. Oops. Oh well. So we're going to need a lot more electric miners to feed that power eventually. So I'll just put a few more electric mining drills down. And hook them up with some power. Here they go. There is a certain ratio of kind of boilers to miners, but I don't know it offhand. So I'll just kind of guesstimate it. Eventually, if this backs up, we know it's working. If it doesn't back up, then we got to add a few more. So I want to get some science going, so I'm going to handcraft some of these science packs. And we'll probably want to do automation first. And we're going to need a science lab as well. This dome-looking thing. Build a couple of them. Let's put this one down here, I guess. And we'll research automation. But it needs these red science packs, so we'll stick those in there. I should mention I've been inspired by a YouTuber, her name's Katherineofsky, and she's done a really great tutorial series on how to go from a starter base to a megabase, so I've learned a ton of stuff from her videos, so I'll be kind of using a lot of the blueprints and stuff that she's made or has found. And one of the ones I'll use was made by a person named Antielitz, I think. And there's kind of a starter base that we'll use, that we'll put down. And we'll feed it iron plates and copper plates. So I made a tiny assembly line here. It's grabbing the iron plate out of the furnaces, putting it here, and we're going to grab iron plate, make gears out of it, pass the gears in here, and make transport belts. And we'll limit it to, I guess, 4 stacks. You can use this red X and kind of click and drag it to limit it. So I'm going to use this starter base blueprint from Antielitz, and it kind of does the basic, let's put it down here. It does copper smelting, which is this row, iron smelting, and then it makes copper wire, green circuits, inserters, gears, and belts, yellow belts. And it also does green and red science. And it's got all these labs here. So we'll kind of build this up using components that we're making. So we feed in copper ore right here. We feed in coal right here, and we feed in iron ore right here. So I'll build part of it first, and then we'll go feed it with the materials it needs. Guess we'll start here. So this starter base is running now. So coal's coming in, being split. Copper ore is being side-loaded. Iron ore is being side-loaded here. Got our copper furnaces. We got 11, I guess. And we've got a bunch of iron furnaces here. And we're making green circuits, which needs copper cable. And we're making copper cable here. Just grabbing the copper it needs, feeding the copper cable into the green circuit machine. And it's feeding the green circuits into two places. One into this machine here that's making inserters, and also into a storage box for whenever we need green circuits. We should probably limit that to a smaller amount. It's also putting spare inserters into this box, which we should limit. And the rest of them are going to go into this kind of transfer chest here, and then onto this belt and get side-loaded into this belt, which has transport belts on one side and inserters on the other, which is used for green science. It needs 2 inserters and 2 transport belts. And this machine here is making transport belts, putting them into a transfer chest, side-loading for green science. And then red science needs copper plate and iron gears. So we're grabbing copper plate from here and iron gears from here. And the iron gears are being made in this last machine over here. And the one kind of tricky part is this weird, so there's copper plate coming along here, it's getting split. And some of it is going onto this underground belt, which then comes around here. So it's kind of getting side-loaded from the splitter into here. And then I added on this piece here to the left just for extra gears, because I want to have extra gears in my inventory. Should probably limit that too. And then this will be for grenades down here. And we're making grenades so that we can easily demolish trees, because trees get in the way of everything. So you need automation 2 to finish this, because some of these assembling machines are assembling machine 2, like this inserter one here. And there's another one here. Well, actually I added that one. These two are assembly machine 2. And for grenades we need to research military 2. So we'll start that. And I'm doing lab research speed 1 next, so we can speed up the research even more. Oh yeah, one thing I forgot to mention. So up here, this feeds the green and red beakers into these, but then there's inserters that kind of move them along until it's in the final one here. And then once this fills up, it kind of backs up and kind of fills up this way. So that way we can get a lot of these labs going at once. There's 25 of them here, so research goes really fast. So here's our copper mining operation. We'll extend it out this way later when we need more. Each one of these tiles though has about 150k underneath each one. Just because I went crazy with this map in terms of resources. We'll be fine for resources, and they're nice and close. This 65 million iron ore will last a very, very long time. It's overkill, but I figured I just wanted to build quickly and kind of experience all the stuff. I can probably take all this down now. But our inventory is full. Gonna make a little storage area here. I'm turning off this green circuit chest just because it's kind of slowing down our green research. So got grenades going now, which needs coal and iron plate, so it's getting the coal from here and the iron plate from up here. And there's 2 of them building it, and they're both dumping them in this chest, which I've limited to 4 stacks. So if you take grenades, they're pretty good for getting rid of trees. They're also really good for killing yourself, so you got to be careful the range that you use them at. So you can see our iron ore is not backed up, which means we don't have enough iron miners up here. So add some more. Add some lights too, since it's impossible to see. I'm also going to set up one last thing here, and that is brick making. I'll put a chest here just for coal. Dump the coal that we have in there. So that'll make a bunch of bricks for us. I was missing a few inserters here for this science. Let's do some more tree cleanup. Not very environmentally friendly, but does the trick. So with these bricks, I'm going to make some walkway to run on. And I learned from Katherineofsky, who's an awesome YouTuber in this game, that you can use the plus and minus key to make this path bigger or larger. I mean, smaller or bigger. So numpad plus to make it bigger, and numpad minus to make it smaller. Probably make a path along here. Just lets us run around faster. So that's going to be it for this episode. We got basic iron mining set up, stone mining, bricks, copper mining. We got our power set up. We'll expand that power as we need. And we got this basic starter base blueprint set up, which gets us our red and our green science going. Also some surplus items that we'll need a lot of, like green circuits, inserters, and grenades for tree removal. And transport belts, which we need a lot of. And everything is kind of saturated, which is good, except for red science is not backed up. That's okay. So in the next episode, I'll probably set up some bigger furnace arrays, and we'll think about setting up our main bus. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.